Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing well. Okay, I'm glad to be today with you, and thanks to the organizer, participant, ladies and gentlemen, for joining this conference, the second international conference on environmental geoscience and earth ecology. I have selected a topic today to address the conference concern and key issues. My talk will focus on the recent developments in the treatment of emerging contaminants, and definitely I will focus more on the obstacles and future perspectives. So this is me. I'm Dr. Bashir, currently working at School of Engineering and Technology, Central Queensland University, and listed among the top 2% scientists in the field of environmental studies. So I would like to share with you some knowledge regarding to the emerging contaminants, challenges related to that one, and as well as opportunities, as well as the treatment technologies available. Um, I'm dividing the topics into a few subtopics, including the definition of emerging contaminant, how to identify those emerging contaminants, and the issue related to the emerging contaminant characterization. So also we will talk about source and pathway of emerging contaminant. We'll talk about identification of emerging contaminant, and we'll talk about the health impact as well as challenges for treatment and opportunities. Let us first identify what is the emerging contaminants in the water sources nowadays. Basically, the emerging contaminant concept is refers to a category of pollutants or substances recently being identified or are gaining increased attention. Definitely, this is due to their presence in the water body and potential risk to human health. So, water bodies, including lake, river, and even sea, also now recently, a team of researcher group from Japan, discovered the microplastic content into the cloud. And this is very recent research, which is very interesting, in fact. Okay, so knowing that those emerging contaminants is a new kind of pollutant or existing pollutant that we just recently discovered their impact, right, or their existence on the water, that means there is a challenge on how to treat it, how to identify it, and even we don't know maybe the full potential or the full impact on health on other factors. Uh, so, uh, what kind of uh, what we call it emerging contaminant we are dealing with. We are dealing with different categories of emerging contaminant or different type of emerging contaminant. Definitely, this is there is five main types, five main group of emerging contaminants that we are dealing with, including pharmaceutical or personal care product. And if we talk about personal care product and pharmaceutical product, this is actually highly in high demand and the market growing day by day, year by year in US, Asia, and other countries. So imagine 10 years back, or 20 years back, the share market for a personal product and a pharmaceutical product is less than half of what it is today. So also we talk about endocrine disturbance compound, even from fire extinguisher. We talk about BFAC compound, microplastic, pesticides, and it's so there's different type basically of emerging contaminant that we are classifying here. Of course, uh, you might know some of them and you might not know some. Okay, by looking to what we call it here is the group of chemical here that is can be classified as emerging contaminant. We are talking about two important things. One is the parameter that is environmentally harmful, potentially treated to human health, threaten the human health, and then another one is the largely unregulated national and internationally. So what we mean by this one? In this case, emerging contaminant can be classified as well based on their characteristics or discovery. So those chemical that are new or unidentified yet, definitely they are unregulated, either nationally, for example, in Australia or in Malaysia, or internationally by the World Health Organization, WHO. Also, their impact on the environment, some of them unknown as we highlighted earlier, right? So let us go for example here. When we talk about pharmaceutical product, we are talking about um, endocrine drugs, antibiotics. So this is one of the most common pharmaceutical product used around the world, not only for human, but also for animals. It's heavily used, the antibiotics now by humans and animals. And definitely this is have certain impact, which recently some of them discovered. So those actually the things that we need to highlight for today. In addition to those pharmaceutical products, we have different kind of cosmetic and personal care products, including perfume material, sunscreen material, shampoo, body lotion, and so on. So now if you go to any shop, any supermarket, any pharmacy, you will find like maybe half of the product there related to those kind of consumables, right? And the market is growing day by day for those kind of personal care products. Definitely those personal care products, every day, the market and the innovation coming out, and those innovation, there is a lot of chemical compound, mixture of the compound, which resulted into new chemical, and that's probably new environmental impact or in new health impact to that material, which definitely some of them we start to regulate, but some of them yet to be discovered or yet to be regulated as well, right? So when we come to this, the one of the biggest group under this emerging contaminant, as mentioned, is pharmaceutical and personal care product, which is a diverse group of chemical that include all drugs, both prescription and over-the-counter medication, as well as personal care product. As mentioned, this is including lotions, shampoo, cosmetic product, and etc. Those product after use, right, it will go washing and so on, and will go to be discharged into the water body through the wastewater discharge. Then this is the treatment system is not able to deal with them because it's not prepared to deal with emerging contaminants. Normally, the country system trained to deal with kind of COD, ammonium nitrogen, maybe heavy metal, but there is no testing about those details composition of emerging contaminant. That's why probably that even the treated wastewater have some of those material, and then it will be discharged into water bodies like river or even to irrigation or whatever, then it will come back to the human being. Okay, another issue here, this is some of the pharmaceutical product found in wastewater by this article published in 2019, and they identify those kind of chemicals or emerging contaminant into the water, including different material here, right? And majority of them, as you can see, are coming from antibiotics and anti-cancer things. In addition to, definitely we will talk about other personal care product. This is only about pharmaceutical product. And there is more material also as well here. So uh, probably if you talk about endocrine disturbance material, we are talking about other kind of material that probably after use those chemical, it might goes to the water and interfere with the endocrine system and hormone regulated in human and wildlife like fish or whatever. And this endocrine material normally found in many or everyday product, including cosmetic, food, and uh, packaging product, toys, even carpet and pesticides, according to this paper published by We in 2020. If you talk about Malaysia, recently certain research in 2023 discover a lot of emerging contaminant products into the water river in Malaysia. And water river in Malaysia, for example, is the main source of fresh water. And the current treatment plant is not dealing with emerging contaminant, even it's not regulated within the country. So this is can alarm uh, or can highlight how critical and serious is the issue when we talk about dealing with emerging contaminant. Another issue here, we talk about PFAS, which is a material coming from different product like cosmetic, paint material, pesticides as well, and even distinguisher, non-stick cooking ware, and personal care product, etc., even refrigerating foam. So this is PFAS also is a new or emerging contaminant that has a lot of a critical impact as well. In addition to that one, we have another type, which is microplastic. As mentioned, microplastic can be found into cloud as well. Normally, it's less than 5 millimeter in the size, and that can be breaking into more small pieces. And it's critical to deal with this microplastic as it was found, and it's a widely used product as it is used in packaging material, textile, tire wear, and in many, many products nowadays. In addition to personal care product, in addition to pharmaceutical product, microplastic, we are talking also about industrial chemical, including pesticides, fertilizer, and dyes. So those actually also a source of emerging contaminant, and now pesticides are widely used, which is basically can be attached to the fruits, vegetables, and later after eating can cause damage to the uh, endocrine system and can cause health problem or health issue. Okay, what will happen after using those chemical, or how this kind of chemical or emerging contaminant can find its way to the river, to the water bodies? Basically, this chart summarizes this issue. So you can see pharmaceutical product, it will be taken by the animal or by, it will go to used by human, and then the human after urination or producing the sewage, and will go to the water bodies, or even if it goes to the what we call it treatment plant, the treatment plant will not be able to deal with it. So for example, here we talk about a human or animal usage, and this is going to toilet, and then this is from toilet or from the garbage. The garbage will go to the landfill here, and wastewater will go to the wastewater treatment plant. So solid waste is going here to the landfill, and wastewater going to the wastewater treatment plant. But what will happen here when in terms of the landfill, we don't have a good treatment system or that can effectively deal with the emerging contaminant or other contaminants. So probably this leachate will be percolate into the groundwater, and then it will come into the water bodies and into the plant. Similarly, when we talk about wastewater treatment here, we talk about inefficient treatment to deal with the emerging contaminant that we don't know, and we don't know their impact and the level of that trace material. And then those will come back the water into the what we call it, to the animal, to the plant, and then will be taken back by a human. Those, of course, waste not only chemical but including the hormone and etc. Right? And if we talk about leachate, so we talk about a lot of highly contaminated wastewater. That's even the color look like this black. It is more than 100 times more contaminated than the normal wastewater, which has a lot of a huge uh, high composition of different organic and inorganic compounds, including phenolic, including some of benzeno compounds, and etc. So definitely this is very dangerous and critical wastewater to deal with, and is difficult to deal with in terms of the treatment. Normally there is no single treatment system can deal with it. Normally there is a combination of treatment system. Yet even that one, same like the wastewater, the normal wastewater, a combination of different wastewater treatment systems that deal with the leachate, they never take into consideration the emerging contaminant, right? They never take into consideration this factor because this is not traditional parameter that they are dealing with. Okay, so probably here we talk about in this slides about um, the categories of emerging contaminants. Um, it is classified in 2015 by Stefankis that there's three categories of emerging contaminant. Basically, one is the detected past in the past, but the negative impact only discovered recently. So since long time we know about the hormones, but we don't know about its impact on the health and so on after coming into wastewater and etc. So recently the impact investigated and the health impact has been clarified by different researchers, and that's why the people looking to study more about its impact, how to treat it, and etc. Another factor is the industrial additive, which is introduced recently, like a new additive material normally used for food industry, for cosmetic, but we don't know yet their impact or whether they have good impact or negative impact on health in the future. And the last one is the category that uh, the things or the emerging contaminant present in the past, but only now recently detected and known that it can be in the wastewater, like pharmaceutical product and so on. So those are the three categories that we have. And based on that one, the people start to study more about the characteristics of those um, and the problematic characteristics of pharmaceutical product, and they found that those products normally will be in very small molecular size, sometimes difficult to detect because it's available in small quantity. It will disturb the endocrine system and promote the antibiotic and antifungal properties of those below results. So this is actually one of the challenges that we have is how to measure them. And if we measure them, they are very small quantity, a trace level in nanogram per liter. And then the problem, even you say, okay, this is amount small, we cannot detect them or very limited, it's not going to have impact. But the issue, it's accumulative. So later when it's come to our body, it will be cumulative, right? Then after a certain time, it will the impact will start to appear. Definitely, those parameters or those emerging contaminants are not being regulated. Possibly they are bioactive, bioaccumulative, and etc. So they are presenting either in surface or groundwater as well. It is found like microplastic and emerging contaminant in groundwater, river. Even recently, our research find it in the tap water in Malaysia. So in different countries, there is a huge concern nowadays about the availability of emerging contaminant and how we can treat them effectively and etc. Let us talk about impact of emerging contaminant on human health. Basically, there is a huge impact on human health because, as we mentioned, whatever come from those emerging contaminant, right, then it will go either to soil, water, or air, and then will go to animal, plant, and human. Even the one going to animal and the plant at the end can be consumed by a human. These slides here summarize some of the impact, health impact on the human human health impact by those emerging contaminants. And we can see that, particularly, for example, the personal care product can probably cause or a source for cancer, fertility problem, endocrine, and effect on thyroid gland. Same when we talk about pesticides, it can cause some damage in reproductivity, fertility, and can cause hormonal changes and miscarriage. If you talk about pharmaceutical product, you talk about could be carcinogenic, could be effect on fertility, and etc. So when we talk about other brominated flame material, it can cause DNA changes, hormonal imbalance, fertility problem, and so on. So the issue is critical now, as shown by Kumar 2022. Knowing the critical impact, including even the microplastic that can go through our ingestion or inhalation system. So microplastic can absorb chemical, including heavy metals, and then it can pass the gut barrier and reach to the bloodstream. Will cause health problem, reproductive harm, and organ problem. It will damage the lung tissue, leading to cancer, asthma, and exposure of microplastic could lead to oxidative stress, DNA damage, and inflammation. So this is basically some of the critical impact, basically, of those emerging contaminants. There is many challenges that we face when we deal with the treatment of those emerging contaminants in the water, as we mentioned, including definitely cost, because our treatment plant are not ready to deal with this kind of wastewater with emerging contaminant. So we need to deal with advanced technology. So we need to have extra cost. Do we need to have the impact of the treatment on probably the transformation of those contaminant? What about the regulation available? Those issues that we need to consider. Basically, there is different treatment technique used, including phase changing technology like membrane and adsorption technique. And we can see somehow the technique in certain pollutant can reach to 100, but some other pollutant just 70 to 60%. So meaning that those kind of treatment technology like membrane technology adsorption, although it's costly, but is not able to deal with all type of emerging contaminant. But yes, they are dealing with some emerging contaminant effectively. Another kind of treatment that can be used, and a lot of research now on it, which is advanced oxidation processes. The people trying to use phenton oxidation, electro-oxidation, and somehow it's effective with certain material, but with certain material, not very effective. It can be less than 70%. This process related to advanced oxidation process basically have a certain challenge related to the impact on the water and what is the potential change in the water after oxidation, because another new byproduct, a new emerging contaminant can appear after the oxidation of the material. Also related to the efficiency of the process into certain material. That's why here we talk about, when we talk about disadvantages, the cost, and may generate intermediate products that are even less biodegradable. And to remove those intermediate products, more cost is needed and more investigation is required. So also biological treatment has been tried before, but it seems not very promising. So that's why, according to different study, the best actually or method is to have a combination of different treatment technology, because one single treatment process might not be sufficient, is not good enough to deal with this problem. Recently, people proposing other kind of technology like a bioelectrochemical system to remove those parameter. Electrochemical membrane bioreactor could be a source of that one. Yeah, but as a conclusion, whatever process we use could be good, but there is an issue here that we need to deal with the emerging contaminant. That means we deal with a complex issue that we don't know all the contaminant that we deal with. We don't know their impact. And when we use the treatment process, we don't know the new byproduct that can be released from that new technique. That's why a combination of different treatment technology should be used. More research on the type and the impact of those pharmaceutical personal care product should be used to identify those new emerging contaminant. Revision on the design of water treatment plant and wastewater treatment plant to solve the new kind of contaminant that we will face should be considered. New technologies that will focus on energy saving and chemical reduction should be addressed as well. Uh, with that, I would like to say thank you very much for listening to this presentation. And I would be happy to receive your question and concern, collaboration by email. You can send to my email ambashir@cqu.edu.au. Thank you very much. Appreciate your attendance and would be happy to see you that you enjoy this conference and a fruitful discussion within this conference. All the best. Thank you very much.